Boom goes the dynamite, or boom shakalaka boom. I forget which one we do at the opening hour. Neither here nor there. We're live. It's a FAFO Friday. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. It's the free-range human show of choice. It's your daily dose of reality radio. We got Shaun YURTKURAN, attorney at law, here in the studio with us. Shaun, get your plug in, my brother.
Oh, we're going to apply my law firm? All right, yeah. What's called, everybody listens, I think, knows who I am now right by this point. But, yeah, I run a law firm, the YURTKURAN Law Firm, and we do criminal defense. We do car wrecks and wills and estates and anything else you need me to do, except for divorces. I'll leave that to the other guys. You can call me at 601-906-9094 or look me up on Facebook. I'm pretty responsive, and you can also text me at that number, too. But yes, I don't do divorces. That's beyond my mental capabilities, or at least capabilities that I can deal with.
Hey, yeah, Shaun's good at what he does. Don't let him undersell it. He just had a huge murder trial as a kind of, I guess, the co-chair. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
And he's got some other stuff. So people are trusting him to keep them out of jail for life. Let him get you out of your shenanigans that you may have gotten into fooling around and finding out over the weekend in and around central Mississippi. But, hey, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a frown upon you if I hear about you drinking and driving. There's no excuse for drinking and driving. If you can afford to go out, you can afford to get an Uber.
That is so true in this day and age. It's just and you wouldn't believe. I mean, God bless them. I get tons of clients with DUIs, and I guess we all make that mistake occasionally. Sure. I mean, I'm not innocent by any means at all.
No. God, Jesus took the will of many a nights for Clay Edwards. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah, I'm totally not innocent, and so the. Whatchamacallit, but it happens. But I think nowadays when when you're going to go put on a good drunk, you plan it out. I mean, every time I do, I'm like, especially if I'm going to go to Rankin County, then I know that I'm going to get an Uber.
100%. I mean, it is anyway. I mean, if I'm even going to downtown Brandon drinking, it's 5 minutes from my house. It's a $5 Uber ride one way, $5 Uber ride the next. So just figure $20 because I'm a tip the Uber guy. If it's only a $5 ride, I'm tipping them $5. I mean, it's going to be $10, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
$20 to safely make it home and back, not take a chance of hurting myself, anybody else, going to jail for life, or just getting a DUI and having to pay all those fees. And heck, insurance is high enough as it is, much less if you get whatever what's that form you have to get done if you get a DUI?
Which called the, jump off your insurance?
Yeah.
Oh, the SR 22, whatever it's called. I can't remember.
Yeah, SR 20. Yeah. I want to say SSRI, but that's not different.
That's a different thing.
Different thing.
SR 22, I think that's what it is.
Maybe so. So yeah, just be careful out there. If you're not, however, just because you're guilty doesn't mean you're guilty. Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Call the YURTKURAN Law Firm.
Speaking of the Uber drivers, I started tipping them after you shamed me about it. I didn't realize that I had to look up the things that you're supposed to tip. When we were talking about tip culture the other day, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to tip your Uber drivers." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't realize that." So I need a little handy list on my notepad.
And to me, that one felt kind of natural. Like that's kind of how I go with it. It's like, does it feel like I'm supposed to? That one to me felt like I was supposed to. But then there's others that probably fly like I didn't know you were supposed to tip your stylist until I was dating a stylist. And it's like that was I never really got my hair done by a stylist. I used to go to a barber, but like girls tip their hairstylist.
I've always done that. Barber or whatever. I've always done that. Tipped them. I got to go see Lacey today after this, so she definitely always tip her. So
yeah, so like you learn. I mean, it's like you don't know, you don't know. I mean, I grew up going to Bobby's Cut Above. I didn't tip Bobby. It was $5 for my high and tight, and I was happy to get it.
I think I was confused with Uber as opposed to a taxi, because in a taxi, I've never tipped in a taxi. But I guess Uber is different than that. Like, have you ever tipped in a taxi before?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think I was just kind of equating it to that. Like, never tipped. Here's the fee, and that's what it is.
After you spend $100 to get taken across town, there's nothing left to give you.
That's a good point. I mean, because it costs so much more to take a taxi, and we're older, so we lived in the days of taxis. I'm sure people younger than us have no reason to take a taxi. Though I was at like the Dolphins game a year ago, and I did take an actual taxi, and it's super expensive. But and so I was just kind of thinking it was the same thing. But now I've realized that after I've been shamed that it's not. So
yeah, look, we're gonna have a buddy of mine call in here in a minute, and y'all all know Reddy Teddy McRaney. He's gonna call in. We're gonna talk about his boiled peanuts, where they're gonna be available at this weekend. Segment 2, we're going to jump into it. We're going to jump into the trans boxer nonsense. We're going to talk about my trip to Neshoba, what I saw, what's going on. I got some clips here from Tate Reeves. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. We got a big show planned today. I hope everybody is ready for a good old-fashioned FAFO Friday here on the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN. Let's see here, real quick, little house cleaning. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944, 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. I had not planned a FAFO Friday lunch this week because my schedule has been crazy and I didn't know what it was going to look like. However, little last-minute change of plans. I got invited to come out to McBee's today. They're launching their new menu. Actually, Michael Wembley, just sent it over to me. I'm waiting to find out what the exact blue plate special of the day is. But 11 o'clock this morning, McBee's is open. They never closed, but they're kind of launching a new menu today. And, of course, they have a blue plate on Fridays. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess there's probably going to be some fried fish available. That seems to be the staple for blue plates in central Mississippi. But I will be there, and I'm inviting anybody and everybody else that wants to come. I'm not buying your food. Everybody's going stag. But if y'all want to join me for lunch, 11 a.m.-ish, right there at McBee's on Lake Harbor Drive. If you don't know where McBee's is by now, this is the wrong radio show for you. Just gonna tell you,
statement's never been made.
If I gotta tell you where McBee's is, this is probably the wrong radio show for you.
If you can't find Shuckers,
Yeah, let's see here. I think I just got a text. It is Catfish Friday. And of course the full menu will be available too. And like I said, I will be there. A little free plug there, man. Shaun, I love supporting small business. Not everybody advertises on the show, and that's okay. Maybe they will at some point in time or another. But I think it's good to get out and support these small businesses, whether they're advertising or not. Plus, Michael Wembley's a dear friend of mine, and he's helped me out dearly over the years, and he has been an advertiser. And again, he goes way deeper than that. There wouldn't be a Clay Edwards show right now if it wasn't for something he did for me. And the least I can do is bring the crew over there to have a lunch. So hopefully you guys will get out and help support that.
Awesome. So you guys, we can do that today?
Today, 11 o'clock. And here's my thing. I'm even having to. I broke my fast and my diet yesterday at Neshoba because it's Neshoba, and so you go eat in these cabins, and everybody feeds everybody.
Okay,
bro. I don't think there was a single thing on that entire fairground that wasn't deep fried.
It's Mississippi in the summer,
yeah. And as a biological anatomical white male from Mississippi, I'm predisposed to not be able to turn down a free fried pork chop.
Yeah, or fried chicken.
I hate
fried
that. Chicken.
Has anybody ever said I hate fried chicken in their lives? Like
I will punch them in the face. They were fighting words. I hate fried chicken. Yeah. I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've got Ready Teddy McRaney here on the Mazda of Jackson phone line this morning. Hey, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. Getting the day started. Just realized where I'm eating lunch today a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Come on down, man. Please, love to see you.
Yeah, I'll be there. Although I did eat there yesterday, I don't mind eating there 2 days in a row.
Hey, can't go wrong with good food, man. I'm a creature of habit. If I ever get back into eating blue plate lunches, I'm gonna eat the same blue plate lunch every day. So I'm trying to avoid that. But so we got Ready Teddy McRaney. Y'all know Teddy, man. He's been a fixture of this show since day one. Calls in. He's a good friend of mine. Worked at several places that have been sponsors over the years. But that aside, Teddy is also the best, undisputed king of boiled peanuts in central Mississippi. And Teddy has worked out a deal with another locally owned business against some other good friends of mine to sell his boiled peanuts. Teddy, tell everybody what's going on.
Man, Grills of Mississippi, and we're very, very fortunate and blessed to have them to us. They're an unbelievable resource from whether you're an expert barbecue guy or just a novice. If you're a novice, I encourage you to go out there because Jonathan knows more about his seasonings and rubs and grills that he has than anybody I've ever known about any product they've ever sold. He's just that good, and they're so helpful.
Your phone had cut out. Your phone cut out as you were saying. So I'm going to repeat it. It's Grills of Mississippi, right there on Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Yeah, Grills of Mississippi, 885. I think it's 885, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Yeah, right over by Trace Grill.
Yes. So I was in there shopping. He was like, "Man, why don't you bring some peanuts up here?" He said, it'll introduce my customers to you and your customers to us. And I was like, "Man, yeah, it's always good to meet new people and new people, like-minded people." And so I'll be there from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock tomorrow. And that way, if you haven't met me, you get a chance to meet me. And what I normally do is I normally deliver on Sundays, but I'm gonna do this on a Saturday. And I normally sell gallons, but for this event, I'm gonna have gallons and quarts. So if you don't feel like, oh, that's too much for a gallon, I don't want to spend that. so you can at least try them for a smaller package and smaller price, of course. But,
You're gonna have.
I'd love to see everybody. I'll be back out fully delivering like I normally do next Sunday, weather and peanuts allowing. But man, I'd love to see everybody out there. And my number is 601-421-7836. Anybody wants to give me a call or text, and I'm gonna be doing some delivering tomorrow afternoon. I just won't be able to get to everybody.
All right, so just so everybody knows, you're gonna have Cajun and regular salted.
Yep.
The Cajun's where it's at, and I used to not even like Cajun peanuts. I love spicy stuff. I just didn't think the two of them went together very well until I had Teddy's, and now I can never eat regular salted again. Frankly, I can't ever eat anybody else's peanuts again. It's Teddy's or bust. It's Teddy's nuts or bust.
And they are good. Teddy brought me some about a year ago to Finian's while I was sitting there. They came in handy. That's because I was on like beer number 6 at that point. So.
Yeah, some good salted nuts make the beer go down great.
Yep.
All joking aside, Teddy, look, congratulations, man. Great guys over there with Grills of Mississippi, Tracy and Jonathan to be teamed up with. I ran into Tracy at the Wildlife Extravaganza last weekend, got to hang out with those guys for a little bit. Been friends with them going all the way back, with Jonathan all the way back to high school at Hillcrest in the 90s. And Tracy, ever since he played with Blindside and Storage 24 back in the early 2000s with Baby Fred out at Crazy 8. So I've known those guys for a long time. Great people, and of course, me and you go back as far or further than that. So, love to see y'all all teaming up, and looking forward to seeing you at lunch today.
All right, man. Thank y'all.
All right, be good, brother. All right, let's do this. Let's take a little earlier break here. We kind of got all that out of the way. Wanted to make sure we support some small businesses around here, and of course, we got some other small businesses to tell you about throughout the show today that help support this show. So, this is the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN. It's brought to you by A1 Gear and Auto. You're having any automotive issues, from check engine lights to brakes to your whole rear end done burn up on you, they got you taken care of. Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. They're going to get it right the first time. They're going to diagnose it right. They're going to fix it right, and it's going to be fixed. When they tell you it's going to be ready, you can bank on it, unless the parts are coming by UPS and the UPS truck gets hit by a train or something crazy like that. You can bank on it being ready when they say it's going to be ready, and it's going to be done at a price you can afford. At least you're going to know the price up front before they there ain't no surprises. We'll just say that. A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to Trainwreck Radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN. It's a FAFO Friday. Guys, get your FAFO shirts. Get your Vote Felon shirts today. I saw so many of them floating around Neshoba yesterday. I'm just always in awe at how popular that shirt became. So thank y'all very much. So get yours today. When I run out, I don't know. I may give the shirts a break for a little bit when we run out of this stock, and maybe try to redesign them. But for now, the FAFO shirt, caps, and flags are available at buyfafo.com. Buyfafo.com. And, of course, the Vote Felon shirt has been very popular, too. Make liberals cry again, just like we did election night 2016. Hey, if you're going to be in downtown Jackson today, speaking of lunch, how about Old Tavern on George Street? That's right. It's Catfish Friday there, too. We had our FAFO Friday lunch there last month, and we ate them out of all their catfish. Apparently, it was that dang good that we ate them out of house and home. So make sure we're getting down there supporting Old Tavern. Of course, they got the full menu available, too. I tell you every day, all fresh, never frozen, locally sourced from farm to table food right there at Old Tavern on George Street. The building's well over 100 years old. It was built in the early 1900s, like 1905, 1907, something like that. And it's still there, still rocking and rolling. So get over there to Old Tavern on George Street today. Actually, the building was built in 1910, and it's on the National Register of Historic Places. Shaun's been in there with me, and been in there plenty of times by himself, too, just like I have. Shaun, it's such a cool place, man. I mean, you walk in, and it ain't somewhere that's built to look old. Mm-hmm. It's somewhere that's old and looks cool.
Yeah. I mean, it just for some reason, it automatically fit being a bar.
It's like you go in somewhere, it's like you vision like someone that has barmaids.
Yeah.
Like this is that place. You know what I mean?
Like a German brewery almost. You know? Like barmaids. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of deal. I mean, it's really cool. Just get by there, check it out. It's safe down there, guys. Look, I had my whole family come down there and eat with us, and if I'm inviting my family down, I feel safe about it. You're in the Capitol Police area down there. You got JPD, Capitol Police. You got and everybody else involved, a lot of Department of Public Safety folks. You're safe at George Street. You can bank that.
Yeah, it's.
I ain't saying leave your doors unlocked. I'm just saying you're safe. Don't leave your doors unlocked anywhere. So get down there and check it out.
Yeah, I know it's so hard. You and I talk about this privately all the time. How it's hard for people, in the suburbs to feel safe coming to Jackson, or they think that it's obviously unsafe because what they see on the news, like, oh my God, there's a killing every day. But that CCID, it's just, because I live there every day, obviously, and it's just a massive impact of what's happened. It's really safe.
I ran into Sean Tyndall yesterday at Department of Public Safety Commissioner and at Neshoba, and I just tell him every time I see him, thank y'all, man. Still appreciate what y'all do with the CCID and the Capitol Police and actually letting them be cops. And just good stuff there. So get down there, check them out. All right, so speaking of Neshoba, went to Neshoba yesterday, had a great time. I just want to thank everybody that walked up. Y'all recharged my batteries for me. First, I want to thank Matthew Bishop for filling in yesterday. Neshoba is one of the days that I take off every year to go see the political speeches. It's something I've been doing for 4 years in a row. And what blows my mind is, I guess, just the reach this show and the reach my social media has because of y'all, nothing to do with me, because of y'all sharing this stuff. It just blows my mind at the complete strangers that walk up and want pictures and want to thank me for what I do. I'm like, thank you for listening to my crazy self every day and these videos and all that stuff. But Shaun, these 4 ladies, I posted this picture last night.
I saw it.
This lady walks up to me. I'm not there for 5 minutes, and I see Mr. Buck Allman, who a lot of people know Buck Allman from Rankin County. They know Bucky, his son, and Dusty, his son, and they do all the stage and production and all the big concerts around here. I ran into Buck Sr., and I was saying hey to Mr. Buck, and this lady was with him, and Ruth Ann is her name. And I love people with 2 first names, too, by the way. There's nothing more Mississippi than 2 first names.
No, definitely not.
I'm still mad at my mom for not naming me Clay Earl or something like that. And anyway, I think Clayton Arthur's good enough. Yeah, that middle name. Anyway,
Arthur. Wait, I didn't even know that was your middle name until just now.
Arthur. I don't even know how to spell it. I don't think I've ever written it out.
You never gone about like C. Arthur Edwards?
No, I may go to law school down in maybe go to some HBCU down south and call myself C. Edwards Esquire.
Yeah, that's a joke. There's a John Grisham book called The Rainmaker. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie or read it. And but in the beginning of the book, he talks about, I've had this experience going to law school that people start, in their third year, start initialing their first names. You ever notice lawyers love to do that? It's so stupid. I mean, I'm sorry to all the lawyers out there I'm offending right now, but it's just something I find, at least me and John Grisham obviously found how funny it was that, some guy all of a sudden is like, Michael Smith, or whatever. Like,
it's not S. YURTKURAN?
Yeah, I'd be like S. Aaron YURTKURAN. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would be. Like, I'm not doing that. But like, there's a lot of people that start like they've never been referred to by their middle name in their entire life, and then now they all of a sudden.
I see. So you go first initial, full middle name, full last name. Yes. So it'd be C. Arthur Edwards.
Yes, absolutely. You'd be C. Arthur Edwards. That's a big lawyer thing to do to show how important you are. It's amazingly annoying. But sorry, I know I just made a bunch of lawyers like, I can't believe he said that and got our secret out. It's so true, though.
Pulling back that fourth wall.
Yeah, John Grisham. It's in the that part is not in the movie, but if you read the book, it's in the front of it's the start of the book when he's in law school and Rudy Baylor's in law school and talking about, my God, because he's like a poor law student that's like bartending to make his way. And he sees all these rich kids start initialing their name. He's like, what idiots, And that's kind of like when I was in law school. I read it before I went to law school, and then I started noticing. I was like, oh my God.
So it was already burned into your brain.
Yeah,
when it was a cheesy thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, man, Miss Ruth Ann walks up to me. She's standing beside Mr. Buck, and she's like, and we're not there for 5 minutes. And I was with my friend, and so she's never like been to one of these events with me, like, because it's full on. You're in full character at these things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so this lady walks up. She's like, Clay Edwards. She goes, I listen to you all the time. And she's like, I have some ladies over here, and we want to pray for you. I'm like, heck yeah, man. I love some prayers. Anybody wants to pray for me, I'm down like 4 flats, Yeah. So I step over there, and she introduces me to the other 3 ladies and start praying for me. And They prayed they prayed a couple different times, but the one that really, really stuck out, and if I'm sounding facetious here at all, I promise I'm not being. I was so appreciative of this, and that's why I'm sharing this story today. I'm kind of blushing a little bit as I tell it, because when complete strangers walk up to you and want to pray for you, it's humbling.
It is. Then
and they know who you are. It's just a very humbling experience. And And I knew they listened to the show, Shaun, and they weren't just blowing smoke, because they wanted to pray for me to continue fighting the evil demons that are running Jackson, Mississippi.
And they are.
The New World Order and the Deep State. Now, I can't remember for sure she said New World Order, but I know she said Deep State. But in my mind, NWO, we said that too, right? And it just meant they said, I know you've been going through some stuff in your personal life. It's like they're just reading my mind. Like, get out of my head, lady. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to those ladies for walking up and praying for me. That I will never forget that the rest of my life. That was one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had. So thank you very much for that.
The only time I've ever had someone pray for me or told me they did was I was doing a closing argument in some case, and the defendant's mother came up to me after I was done and said, I was praying for you. I was praying you lose your job after this trial. And I was like, thanks. I appreciate that. That's great.
Unanswered prayers.
No, right. So,
have you ever prayed for have you ever gone through a breakup and prayed that God would send them back?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, I remember like in high school.
Like when I was younger, I'm trying, so long ago when I actually wasn't demented and cynical and angry, in those days when I thought things worked out,
And now when you go through a breakup and you pray like, God, please keep them away.
Yeah, now it's like, you're like, yes, thank you. Like, now sometimes I'm always like, thank God I got divorced, or thank you, this is the greatest thing you've ever done to me, Like, that's kind of the difference that I think age brings you.
No doubt. But, it's like you get those when you're young and you pray for please, God, send her back. And then, as you get a little older in life, that Garth Brooks, I know we're not supposed to like Garth Brooks because he's an evil, dastardly Democrat, but that aside, the song Unanswered Prayers, it aged well.
It does. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been like, God, thank you for getting me out of that situation.
Yeah.
Like, you saved me from a lot of,
pain and anguish,
disappointment. Yeah.
Probably a domestic violence charge.
Yeah, right. Or definitely being out of a lot of money. That's, I'm like, oh, God, I think I can make my mortgage this month because I got out of that relationship.
Oh, man. Well, look, man, if y'all haven't gone up to the show, but I know a lot of people from Central Mississippi, at least if you grew up in Jackson. I know a lot of people that have never been, and it's funny because I have this conversation with people that, man, I ain't never been up there. I'm like, I had not either till 4 years ago, and I've still yet to do the show by after dark, and that's where the real fun looks to be had. But again, just thank you to everybody with all the cabins. The mayor of Oxford, they welcomed us into their cabin and fed us, and I mean, my goodness, like I said, fried pork chops, fried chicken.
After dark.
Well, that's what I call it.
In the log cabins?
These aren't log. They're not log.
Okay, they're not log. I've never been. So
These aren't log cabin conservatives, my friend. These are not log cabin conservatives.
Okay.
These good God-fearing folks that pray for complete strangers. I don't know if log cabin conservatives do that. But neither here nor there. Shout out to all our log cabin conservative listeners. I know y'all are out there. I know some of you personally. Nothing against you. Nothing against you. I just don't want to be against you.
Oof. Yeah. I'm just, when you said in the show by after dark, I'm like, I wonder what that's like.
No, they got I got all them drunk folks in their cabins and they party. There's like this big pavilion in the middle where they do the political stump speeches.
Right.
But then they have a big stage set up out in the middle of the horse racing thing, the horse racing track.
Yeah.
And like they have bands play, like big headliners and stuff. And it's probably, I don't know. I saw US play they play every year, like on the Saturday night, the first Saturday.
Okay.
I guess it's the only Saturday technically, because it ends today. It's over, or it ended yesterday, whatever. So today's move out day, which is weird. They should do it the whole another weekend, but neither here nor there. But anyway, they have all those people, man. They party. It looks like tens of thousands of people out there in the center field and the bleachers of the horse racing track. And I mean, it looks like a good time had by all. But gosh, dang, boy, I tell you what,
it's hot.
Hot.
Looked hot. I saw y'all's photos. I was like, the heat was emanating off of you.
Look, I was conflicted on what to wear yesterday. I was like, man, do I want to wear one of my FAFO shirts? Because if there was ever a time to wear your own shirt, this is it. I mean, every politician there had their names printed on their shirt. Look at me, I'm so-and-so. I'm so-and-so.
Do they stay around for the drunk fest, the politicians? Because I have this mental image of Andy Gibson and Shad, like, yelling at each other. Shad's going DEI, and then, Gibson is going Panda Biscuits, and everybody's getting drunk, and that doesn't happen.
Let's see if I'm remembering this right, because I wasn't there the day prior, but apparently Shad called Delbert out in his speech.
I heard that, and then Delbert moved his microphone up when he went to speak to make fun that he was taller than Shad.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. I heard about that.
I did see Andy a couple times. He was in full Andy mode. God, I love Andy Gibson. He is a national treasure. God protect Andy Gibson.
I know I've said this many times after that the RNC when CNN caught him. I'm like, thank you CNN for catching Andy Gibson on CNN and national, and then the country gets to see what we get to see.
Now I'm not going to reveal my source on this because that would be impolite. But I'm going to repeat a story that I was told.
Okay.
So we're in one of the cabins, and there's all these political folks. And run into one of our dear friends. I told you who yesterday. Mm-hmm. So because it helps the story if you really know the guy.
Yeah.
But of course, and shout out to Fred Shanks too. Fred's always kind of been my host of sorts every time I go to this thing, and he drags me around, introduces me to everybody and stuff. So shout out to Fred again for the 4th year in a row. He's my unofficial tour guide every time I go to Neshoba.
He gave me a tour of the Capitol. I think he just likes doing that.
I think he does. He's like, look at what I know.
Look at the marble over here. You see this? This was brought in. I'm like, what did you know? Okay.
I think people tell Fred stuff and he doesn't forget it.
Yeah.
So we're on the porch of one of these cabins and we're talking about the next governor of Mississippi because that's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
Is the statewide in 27 or the 28 or whatever, and this guy walks up and he's like he'd been up at the RNC in Milwaukee, and he was like, well, so apparently there was 4 people at least up in Milwaukee from the Mississippi delegation that are telling everybody they're running for governor. He said, I said, did one of them have on a white cowboy hat and Band-Aid on his ear? He goes, mm-hmm. He said one of them maybe just wrote a book.
Yeah. One
of them probably had on a red dress. And the other one sells tires.
I think we know who all 4 of those are.
Exactly. Ooh. Man, I busted out laughing. I said, I can't wait to tell Shaun this story.
It just had, when you told me that, I was thinking of like the Governor Hunger Games. I just have them on little pedestals and then they release them into whatever game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Who's going to kill each other?
It was like the Hunger Games up there with the political stuff yesterday. I mean,
you could just see Shad jumping on Andy's back and like punching him.
Look, and nobody's been more critical of Tate Reeves. I mean, than this radio station. I don't want to take any away from the other hosts because they've been critical of him too. No other media outlet has been more critical, especially on the conservative side, of Tate Reeves and WYAB and its host. I want to say so. I thought Tate, and I've seen now 4 Tate Reeves speeches at Neshoba. By far, yesterday was his best. Mm-hmm. You can tell, well, in my unprofessional opinion, Tate is jockeying for an appointment in the Trump administration.
He's young. He's got a future ahead of him. I mean,
he does. He does, and I thought he hit a home run with his speech yesterday. He even said ass.
What?
He cussed.
Oh, did he?
Well, if you want to say ass is a cuss word.
No.
He said about kick ass or something like that. But, I mean, to hear Tate Reeves say that, I mean, and it was all national. Well, he talked a lot about the accomplishments of Mississippi and the Mississippi Miracle and that stuff. But then he got into Kamala Harris. I don't know who was writing his speeches, but kudos to Tate's speechwriter yesterday if it wasn't Tate, because I thought it was by far his best stump speech to date.
I thought he gave a really good interview afterwards. Actually, a very short clip I saw.
Yeah, I've got one of Ross Adams here. I actually saw Ross interview him. I think you can see me walk behind in the footage.
Really?
Yeah, but I saw that.
He did what I've been saying for a while about I think the Republicans need to pivot on certain things, and like he pivoted to her policy, which I thought was really smart.
Well, here, let me pull this up real quick. This was like the black media, the mainstream media, the black media members. They're really trying to grab a hold of Trump, saying that Kamala's not black.
Right. Yeah.
And she's not. I'm not going to play that game. Kamala is not black.
I mean, she's half black.
Again,
I mean, if your dad's black, you're half black, though, right? I mean, I'm half Turkish. I consider myself Turkish. My mom's not Turkish.
No, but she wasn't raised black. She was raised Indian.
But were they? I don't know the genesis of her family. Were her parents stayed together? Were they divorced? Does anybody know that? I don't know.
I mean, I saw a picture of them. They were very Indian. Let's listen. Let's listen to Ross Adams try to pin Tate up on this whole Kamala thing.
Harris's racial identity yesterday. What do you make of that?
Look, the one thing I'll tell you about Donald Trump is Donald Trump's going to be Donald Trump. I'm going to focus on the policies that Kamala Harris
what about the fact that he's questioning what she said? He said she was Indian one day and she turned black. A lot of people say that is a racist comment.
Well, you'll have to ask the president or his team what he meant by that. I will tell you, she's the most liberal.
What do you think he meant by that?
State of California.
What do you think he meant by that?
She is the most liberal senator from the state of California. She is directly responsible, along with her boss, President Biden, for the policies that have led to significant illegal immigrants coming across the border. She is responsible through her policies that she's enacted in these prices being significantly higher today than they were 4 years ago, and that's what I'm going to focus on.
I wish I'd heard that. I would have interjected in the middle of that interview and asked Ross, why is everything got to be about race? Why is everything racist, Ross? Why is questioning anything about race racist? Kamala Harris, that was factual what Donald Trump said.
Well,
one day she plays Indian, woo!
Not that kind of Indian, bro.
And one day,
not that kind of
I know, I'm being a smart ass. No. And one day she is black. I mean, dude, she went full Hillary Clinton into hot sauce the other day talking to folks in Atlanta.
Did that. Well, here's my point about it. Look, I don't think it was racist. I think that's the wrong way to characterize what I thought it was politically stupid. That's the way I thought it was, because I think Tate's answer was a good answer. Like, let's talk about this. You don't gain voters by doing that, what Trump did. You just don't gain voters. That's, from a strategy point, it's a bad thing. I don't think it's racist. I just think it's politically stupid.
I think playing a different race every other day is politically stupid.
Well, then let the voters look. I think you're better off not commenting on it. You're better off focusing on policy, because when you do that, you're going to turn off swing voters and that sort of thing. You already got your base that loves you. I think you turn off swing voters. It doesn't gain you votes by doing that. I wouldn't have said anything. Now, that being said, I watched that whole panel. That's where the genesis of this is from, right?
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
We're 6 minutes over. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with Shaun and YURTKURAN here on The Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Got caught slipping there. I was listening to a video. Thank you, Jerry, for sending that. I'm going to play that here in a minute. This segment going to be brought to you by our friends over at Mazda of Jackson. Guys, you're looking for a car this weekend, get over there to Mazda Jackson, proud sponsors of the Mazda Jackson phone line. We got a caller on hold. We'll be coming to them in just a second here. But look, man, the deals are hot this summer at Mazda of Jackson. You already know that Mazda is one of the top 5 most dependable car brands out there. And Mazda of Jackson on I-55 Frontage Road has hundreds of new and used cars available. The brand new CX-5 crossover is rated 9 out of 10 by Car and Driver. The CX-30 and CX-90 SUVs are both rated 9.5 out of 10, and they're in stock now at Mazda of Jackson. Mazdas also include a limited lifetime powertrain warranty. And be sure to ask about Mazda of Jackson's special financing deals going on right now. I don't have the up-to-date APR specials. It's August 1st. I'll have those by Monday, so I'll make sure that we get those brought to you guys. I'm sure they'll have something cooking over there that makes it worth your while to go buy a new Mazda. So check them out. And don't forget, every purchase comes with a free 43-inch TV as well at Mazda of Jackson. You get the owner's phone number. Go see my buddies over there today. Tell them I sent you. Mazda of Jackson. Shop them online. MazdaofJackson.com. Ask for Grady. Ask for Richard. I've known those guys for a long time. Or just, heck, anybody else picks you up when you walk up, work with them too. Because car salesmen out there, man, busting their butt, walking that hot asphalt parking lot in this 100-degree weather, trying to make a living. Be courteous to those folks if you're out car shopping, man. Look, it's hard work. It ain't, it's physically hard work. You may not be lifting heavy stuff, this, that, and the other, but pounding that hot pavement, getting in and out of those 150-degree cars, doing all that stuff for customers, trying to make a living. It's tough work. If you ain't never done it, it's like working in a restaurant. If you ain't never done it, be kind to those folks. Or how about go try doing it? I saw a buddy of mine, Daniel Freeman, posted something the other day about somebody just driving through the lot and just not even wanting to make eye contact with the salesman. Well, it's what people do, and those would be the first people that would, if you didn't talk to them, they'd come inside and they'd be running their thumbs up and down their dang suspenders, talking about, I don't guess nobody wants to buy a car today. Ain't nobody talked to me outside. I don't guess nobody wants to sell a car today. I hate you people that do that too, by the way. And dang well you ain't buying a dang car today. And as soon as a car salesman had walked out there and tried to talk to you, you'd have been like, I'm just looking.
Window shopping MFers.
I'm just looking. I ain't even coming inside till you give me your best price. Go get your little fancy pants manager off the desk right now. Tell him I want your best price right now. I ain't paying a sticker for nothing. Boy, get me fired up. Get me fired up, boy. I got 12 years of frustration towards car buying customers that I would just love to unleash on some old hillbilly that does that again. It just never fails. They park around back and they'll sneak in the back door of the dealership and pretend nobody talked to them. Get it right up on the showroom. rubbing their fingers up and down their suspenders or their overalls, coveralls, whatever. I don't get it. Nobody wants to sell a car today. I'd love to just drop kick one of them. If I could get up higher than about their ankles, I'd drop kick the crap out of them.
I mean, I don't know. You've been working out enough. I probably can now.
I've been practicing the straight on gut kick.
Like
I figured that's
the double dragon kick.
Yeah, I figured that's my best chance to catch somebody off guard is just kick them right in the midsection there or lower. Mm-hmm. So anyway, look, be courteous to your car salesman this weekend. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's hot outside. They're working hard trying to feed their families too. It ain't their fault you got bad credit. So,
it is your fault.
It's your fault. That $300 car note is not a thing anymore. It's not their fault you can't get a $300 car note. Anyway, continuing on, let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, thanks for staying on hold through my rant there. You're on there.
Hey, Clay, Shaun. I just want to talk. Y'all were talking about the Trump going in front of the black press people the other day, and I watched that for the first time with my black girlfriend, and we watched the same response to Kamala Harris's heritage, and I was like, why is he saying this? I mean, what is he doing? But when he got done, my girlfriend looked over at me and said, I don't know if he's a genius or if it was accidental, because by tying Kamala Harris as much as he can to her Indian heritage, a lot of urban black people do not like the Indians. Look at what's going on in Jackson right now with Kenny Stokes. And by out of her heritage, he's getting to a certain portion of the community. It may be a slim sliver, but it's out there.
That's fact. Look,
I didn't think about that.
The black community and the Indian store owners do not like each other.
I didn't think about it. That's an interesting point, huh?
And when she said that, I didn't think about it either because I'm white. I didn't think about that either. But when you look at it from their perspective, and I was like, this guy is the Captain Jack Sparrow of politics. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if he just runs into a situation and then chaos ensues and he comes out on the other end looking better than he did when he came in. But it's like, it's hard to explain. He's either a genius or he's just extremely lucky. I don't know. But that was my insight from a black conservative woman voter that watched it at the exact same time that I watched it. We had completely different reactions, but when she said what she said, it made sense.
Jerry,
that's interesting.
Hey,
I'll let you guys go. You guys have a good Friday.
Thanks, brother. I want to play what Jerry just sent me here real quick. This was Kamala Harris in 2016, running as an Indian who has now transitioned to a strong, independent, strong black woman.
Yeah, well, the Democratic Party for a very long time, not just this election cycle, has been doing a lot of active outreach around South Asians, around the API in general, and will continue to do it. I mean, what we know in particular when you're talking about the South Asian community, we're talking about the Indian community more specifically, it is a growing community in the United States in terms of its voting bloc, in terms of its participation, and I think the party knows that and knows that this is part of our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
You could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh, shit.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Shaun, let's play this real quick again. This is Kamala Harris being Indian.
The Democratic Party for a very long time, not just this election cycle, has been doing a lot of active outreach around South Asians, around the API in general, and will continue to do it. I mean, what we know in particular when you're talking about the South Asian community, we're talking about the Indian community more specifically, it is a growing community in the United States in terms of its voting bloc, in terms of its participation, and I think the party knows that and knows that this is part of our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly.
All right, again, that's Kamala Harris being Indian when it was politically convenient. We'll be back in 7 minutes with Shaun YURTKURAN on the Clay Edwards Show. Boom, shakalaka boom. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the radio, here live on 103.9 FM WYAB with my co-host, Shaun YURTKURAN, Esquire.
That's another pet peeve I have, okay? So this is what lawyers do. Now, this is the second hour, so I can say another secret here. So somebody writes a letter to you, they can say Esquire, but you can't refer to yourself as Esquire. So you see all these lawyers that will write their name and put ESQ at the end because they don't know the proper usage of it.
What was Fannie Willis's boy toy's name?
Nathan
Wade.
Nathan Wade.
He was an Esquire.
Was he? Did he refer to himself as an Esquire?
He referred to himself as Esquire.
See, yeah, you're not supposed. Someone can address you that way in a letter or whatever, the correspondence, but you can't just say. I can't be like Shaun E. YURTKURAN, Esquire. I look like an idiot.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that there's a certain mayor of Jackson whose name is C. Lumumba Esquire.
What's his middle name?
C. Antar Lumumba Esquire.
Antar. What do I? Of course, we know his middle name.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
C. And that's not even his real name, by the way.
Was that? No, it's not his birth. It's not his birth name.
No, like his birth certificate name is like Jack Smith or something weird like that. Somebody sent it to me the other day.
His dad was Edwin Talaferro. You know. Yeah. So I was wondering if that was like Italian or what that was. The way it sounded Italian.
Is he Muslim?
No, I don't think they are.
I mean, so okay, I understand. Like when you convert to Muslim or Islam, I'm sorry. When you convert to Islam, you usually take on a different name.
Yeah.
But, what did they take on to convert this to these made up names?
I think they're. I forget what region of Africa they're from.
The New Republic of Africa,
something like that. It's not Islam. It's not a conversion to Islam, as far as I know. I think they are. I think they're Christians.
To the motherland.
Yeah, it's something like that. We're just going to take on an African name, and yeah.
Is Chokwe the Jacktown Kamala Harris?
God bless. I mean, with this name, yeah. I don't know. I can kind of see it if you're if you're doing it for religious purposes, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I get
you're
it.
Doing it for
clout.
cultural.
Yeah, that's a little different. I mean, I guess I can, change my first name to like Abdullah or something, just to be culturally correct or whatever. But no, I mean, I don't. And that's kind of funny. It actually made me think about it. Like my dad's actually from Turkey, and my first name is Shaun. It wasn't like we got to make this as,
You've only got what? A-E-I-O. You got 2 vowels in your names. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you only got 2, so you're good. I mean, and then they start putting 4 and 5 vowels in their names and just making stuff up.
That would have sucked. I know my mom wanted to name me Sharif or something. My dad was like, my dad's the one who would comment, say, he's like, we're not going to do that. That's going to make him sound like a terrorist.
Abdul Sharif.
Well, like, you imagine after 9/11, I was going to the airport and her name was like Sharif YURTKURAN. They're like, what the hell? Like, there's a watch list, sir.
Check your shoes.
You're on the watch list, sir. Get on it right now.
Get the gloves.
The best was you met my friend Will, and he's how big Will is. He's like about 6'6" and 350 pounds. And right after about a month after 9/11, we were actually flying somewhere, and he was just, of course, me and my friends make racist jokes to each other because we've been friends for forever, and that's what we do. And he said, "Man, they're gonna check your towel head butt right now." He's like messing with me in the line, and then we go through the line, they stop him and they frisk him and I just walk through. I'm like, "Yo, bro, what's up?"
Well, I mean, it's white on white racism, so it's not.
But this
really
was 2001,
racism.
Right? I know, but it was just funny because they basically cavity searched him, and I just walked on the plane.
Hey guys, if you're hard transition here, and we're speaking of transitions, we're going to get to that in just a second here. But hard transition here. If you're out in the Gluckstadt area today or Ridgeland, and you're looking to grab some pizza for lunch, Johnny's Pizza House. It is one of a kind, man. It is a beloved institution rooted in the heart of Louisiana, and it isn't just a place to grab a slice. It's a slice of Louisiana life. Johnny's has all your favorites, but they're also your destination for something unique. Look, man, they got great pizza. I don't have to sell you on the pizza. If you've had Johnny's, you know it's great. But what I am going to sell you on is the prices. You're looking for something to eat today. This Joe Biden economy getting the best of you. The Bidenomics crunching you a little bit. How about go get a small one-topping pizza with a medium drink for only $6.99 at Johnny's Pizza. That's a single topping. You can get one of their specialty pizzas, 8-inch, for $9.49 with a drink. And you can also try the big one, the Super Supreme. They call it Sweep the Kitchen. And you get that and a medium drink for only $9.49. If you even want to go a little lower than that, maybe you're in the mood for a sandwich, how about try any of their flips, which is basically kind of like a wrap. They're only $6.49. and you can get one of their quarter muffaletta sandwiches with chips and a drink for only $5.99. Or heck, I know a lot of y'all out there just like mozzarella cheese, not mozzarella fried cheese, but like breadsticks with cheese. How about that for only $6.99 with a drink? That's Johnny's Pizza. Check them out in Gluckstadt and Ridgeland.
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
Good? Right.
Yeah.
Circling back real quick to the Kamala Harris stuff,
Mm-hmm.
let's have a serious conversation.
Okay.
Right, not just poke fun at it, because we're going to agree to disagree.
Sure.
Do you not find it a bit comical that she was all in on her Indian heritage when it was convenient? Now she's kind of playing black on TV because she stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night?
Oh, I mean, if you're going to say, do I agree with you that she's playing that card? Yeah, of course she's doing that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
And I'll agree that she's half black.
Yeah, I mean, she's half, but she is half black. So, I mean, but yeah, of course she's doing it. But I mean, politicians, this is kind of what they do, right? They use what's to their advantage. They'll be anything. I mean, I heard J.D. Vance talk about, well, Kamala Harris is a chameleon because she'll do this and that. But I'm like, bro, you called Trump an American Hitler. I mean, and now you know what I mean? Like,
she called Joe Biden a racist and then was his VP.
Well, there, my point exactly. I mean, I think all these guys will do anything. It's not like it's not anything new. My only point was that, like, I think it's best to, refrain from commenting on that because you're talking about race or gender or whatever. I think it's best to stay away and talk about our policies, kind of like Tate did. I thought that was a better response. I think you win voters that way. I think when you look at Kamala Harris, the only way Trump, to me, and I was talking to somebody last night about this, loses this thing is by making missteps like this. Because if you look at Kamala Harris's policies, they're pretty bad. I mean, at least the ones she had in 2019. Now I assume they're going to change. Just like, everybody has a new awakening, right, when they're running for president. Like, I mean, I doubt she's going to go out there and say, I'm against fracking now. I haven't heard her say that. She's going to have a whole new platform that's going to be completely opposite to what she ran on in 2019. So, but I think that's what you attack. You attack the policies. You don't do things like that. You don't double down on the childless cat ladies. That's another conversation we need to have, whether he should dump Vance, which I think he should. I think that's kind of where he's at this point. But
No, I like that y'all don't like him. It makes me like him more.
Okay, makes you like him more.
Makes me like him more.
Well, I had some Republican friends of mine that were saying, well, I mean, the Democrats are just going to jump on us if we dump them. I'm like, what are they going to say? I can't believe you dumped your candidate. I mean, they just dumped theirs, so they can't really hit you back with that. I don't, I mean, they can't really make a big thing about that.
Like I said, Wednesday, the cat lady thing didn't bother me. I knew what he meant. It's a meme. It's the cat lady meme.
Right.
I know what he means. The crazy old lady that we don't have to rehash it. I knew what he meant, and that's why that didn't bother me. I'm not a crazy old cat lady. I can sit there and say, hey, I like cats, but I don't want to be around them. They make me sick.
Are you a cat
allergies.
hater?
No.
Look, at a distance.
I can appreciate a good cat minding its own business over there.
Yeah.
It's like I get it. They're just not my thing. I like dogs. But
me too,
dogs
honestly.
don't mess with my allergies either.
Yeah, and dogs actually love you and don't want to murder you in your sleep. I think cats would do that if they could.
And they don't. Dogs don't play in their own poop over them.
Cats are like, I think they suck their soul out of you, when they look at you and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all kind of videos out there of crib videos of the cats getting in and trying to smother the child.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at him, trying to. Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate them, but I don't want to own one. It's just dumb. Lindsey Beckham just texted us and says, "Please get to the trans boxer."
Well, it is. I've got it pulled up here. That's why I said we're going to do a hard transition here. But I want to say one more thing though about Kamala Harris and black culture in general, and her pretending to be culturally black. Can we agree that she's pretending to be culturally black?
Sure. I agree. with that,
Can we understand there's a difference?
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand.
Black.
I mean,
in black genes and black culture.
Yeah.
She's pretending to be culturally black, just like she was being culturally Indian when it was politically convenient.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just think it's not good to mention, but I don't disagree that that's what she's doing.
You've spent as much time in the black community as I have, in the urban black Jackson community. If that offends anybody, I ain't sorry. You're too soft. It is what it is. There's a dang difference. There is a black urban culture.
Yeah.
And if you grew up in and around Jackson, you grew up in black urban culture, period. I'm not going to have this ain't even a discussion I'm going to have with y'all. But one thing that I know for a fact, and Shaun, I think you'll agree, is black urban culture blacks don't like blacks like Kamala Harris.
I would agree with that. I know what you're saying. Like I know what you mean.
She's an Uncle Tom as far as they're concerned.
I mean, I think there's a lot of
she would fit the bill of y'all, you think you too good for us with your fancy education and talking right and not talking in ebonics and all that stuff. I think they don't, that Jackson black Democrat does not like a Kamala Harris type.
Yeah, I think that the Jackson political kind of environment, that's a negative on you. Yeah, and this is from my black friends, that have explained that to me, how that dynamic works. That that can be a negative, towards your electability. I've absolutely heard that. But
so that's why I find it appalling that and it makes me lose again. I've lost so much political respect for black urban Democrats because I know they don't like that. And then, like when a Hillary Clinton plays I keeps the hot sauce in my purse, and when Kamala Harris gets on stage the other day and starts talking in Southern black slang, and it's accepted. I thought that was racial appropriating. Isn't that what they call it? Racial appropriating? Where you swagger, culture jacking?
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought that was cultural appropriation. I thought that was racist.
I've seen so many people use that word or phrase, whatever, cultural appropriation, with just ridiculous thing. I used to have you can Google it, the stupid things they say is culturally appropriating something.
Yeah.
If you like Cuban food, I love it, and I grew up in Miami. They're like, you're culturally appropriating if I make Cuban food. I'm like, how am I doing? What? This is the dumbest thing ever.
I love Mexican food, but I want to build a wall.
Right. Well, there's a lot of Mexicans that want to build a wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Both things can be right.
That's for sure. The one thing I did want to say about that,
I think the Germans make great cars, but I don't like the
beer.
Nazis.
Yeah, like the Nazis. The one thing I did want to say about that black journalist conference that he was at, though, other than those comments that I didn't think were smart, if you watch the whole thing, they were very unfair to him at the beginning, for a few reasons, right? The first question was terrible and really offensive, I thought. They asked him something like, well, why are you attacking black prosecutors? I'm like, because they're making up cases against the guy. That's why he's mad. I don't blame him for that, Yeah. But they're making it like he's a racist because he was attacking them. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. These cases were insane. Second thing is, they, oh God, whatchamacallit? They, oh, now I forgot where I was going with that. They had told him that Kamala Harris was going to be there. And she wasn't. And then they told him that he couldn't do it by Zoom, but they told her that she could do it by Zoom. And he pointed those things out to him, and I was like, man, that's pretty fair, that you're pointing that out, because they were setting him up too. So you have to look in the context of the whole thing. I think is really, really important. Now, again, I don't agree with his comments, but I do think a lot of it was a setup to just being objective and watching it. So
interesting. Here's the other thing about Kamala. She's so black. Why did she marry a very nerdy, very nerdy, non-black at all white guy?
Maybe she just likes white dudes. I don't know.
I'm just saying. My point is, I don't care who you marry. I don't care if Kamala's gay, straight, black, blue, green. I just find it sickening that it's not even her. She's just playing a character. I find it sickening that black culture is welcoming her in suddenly as a bona fide black person. When it's like, no, she hasn't. She has run from you all as far away as she could get from you all. She put as many of you all in jail as she possibly could, and then used you as slave labor and laughed about it. And now she's suddenly black because why? Because it's politically convenient for y'all. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think Kamala Harris is one of those people, and a lot of politicians are like this. There's several, probably the majority. She always reminds me of the person that got up in the 7th grade and was looks in the mirror and says, I'm going to be class president. She, that movie Election with Reese, that's what she reminds me of. She's always been that person.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think I told you the story before. I actually had a meeting with her campaign manager when she was running for California Attorney General. He was related to my old boss, Robert Smith, and we were running Robert's campaign in 2007. And, he gave me some really, really good advice. But what I gathered from that, I didn't know who Kamala Harris was in 2007. She was the district attorney of San Francisco, and he's running this woman's, campaign for attorney general. But the way he explained her to me then was wow, this woman's on the up and up. She's moving. She's got, her sights set on something really, really high. And to all her credit, she did a good job of that. She became attorney general, senator, vice president, now potentially president.
She had her sights set high, but it did involve dropping to her knees.
Hey man, look, you got to do what you got to do. See, that's another line of attack I see people doing. I think that doesn't work. I just don't think that's going to change. I think the people that works on are already voting for Trump.
Yeah, but see, it's fair game because Trump's sex life has been fair game for the last 8 years.
Sure. So, yeah, and I think that was stupid. But that's You're not.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. You run the risk of offending a bunch of the promiscuous women out there that have slept their way to the top that could vote your way. That could vote for you. I understand that there's a demographic of women that may.
If I could sleep my way to the top, I'd do it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That just doesn't work for me. But.
I'm sure there's a demographic of women out there that line of stuff offends. But hey, where were you when they were doing it to Trump? That's all I'm saying. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We're gonna get into the trans boxer stuff. Y'all know I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, guys, get out to Parlor 1883 tonight, Flora, Mississippi, downtown Flora, right there on Main Street. It's Flora's living room. Stop by. Man, it's a nice little bar. It's got the living room. It's got the high-top countertop tables, the bar stools, all that good stuff. I know that sounded terrible trying to explain that, but you know what I mean, the pub tables. You can go sit down in the couches like you're in your living room. Those are great, great high-value sections there. You can sit at the bar. It's a huge bar, by the way. I mean, I love it. I like a big, long bar, and there's a big, long L-shaped bar. You'll enjoy it in there. Big flat screen TVs everywhere, live entertainment, and more. And don't forget, every Tuesday night is family night. I went out to dinner with a friend and her mom last night. We kind of accidentally all ended up at the same place out at Martin's, and we were talking about Wendy's last night. Brought it the Wendy's Super Bar again. Shaun, and we were talking about the taco bar.
The taco bar, yeah.
Yeah, they live out in Gluckstadt, so I was like, hey, well, did you know that Parlor 1883 has a taco bar?
Wow, that's awesome.
On Tuesday nights. It's family night, so it's free unlimited soft drinks and a taco bar. And I bet you it's better than Wendy's was.
Yeah. Wendy's was low rent, but I mean, I still liked it, I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I pulled up some pictures of it last night at dinner to show them. I'm like, remember, it looked like this.
If you don't like fried chicken or a taco bar, you're not an American.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't like authentic Mexican food
you're not American.
And a taco bar, you need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Or fried chicken.
Go back to where you came from.
Other side of the wall for you. Yeah. Oh, the back on the boat. Okay. I've got this trans boxer stuff in front of us, but hold on. Fried chicken. I've said this before on the show, and for some reason this makes people mad. But there's a crew of white people that like to use fried chicken as like a racist joke, a racist thing towards black people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it gets brought up.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm the first one to jump in and try to fight over that one. That makes that and watermelon. That makes me mad. Because first off, nobody likes fried chicken and watermelon more than Clay Edwards.
Yeah, both of those things are wonderful, right? Especially in the summer, right? The watermelons.
How did the black folks get to claim fried chicken and watermelon?
Do you think they culturally appropriated it?
Yeah, like no. So look, I refuse. Keep them racist jokes away from me because I'll fight you over it. Nobody likes fried chicken more than Clay Edwards.
What are white people food that people make fun of white people for?
Dave Chappelle has a great skit about this in one of his stand-ups from back in the, it's one of his older ones.
Yeah.
He's like, white people have been very good, sneaky about keeping their foods private, like what they like. He's like, they'll go around the grocery store, you'll see a white person's bug, and they'll be like, stop looking, black person. You can't know what we eat.
They can't know what we eat. Yeah, because I've never heard of what's the white people food?
Well, if you listen to this show enough, and since I've been anointed the voice of all white people, apparently, if you listen to the show, it's pizza and mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, I mean,
we love mozzarella cheese in any form, fashion, or another. Baked on, fried, it doesn't matter. Just give me some dang mozzarella
and Mexican food. If people listen long
Mexican
enough.
food, white people love our Mexican food.
That's it.
Give me the P5. Everybody knows what the P5 is. They got one everywhere.
Yes.
All right, man. I just wanted to throw that out there. There's nothing racially appropriate about or whatever about fried chicken and watermelon. That is a Southern thing. That is not a black thing. That's like when I see black folks share these memes a lot. Black people Thanksgiving versus white people Thanksgiving. They think that we don't season our chicken, or that we cook our macaroni in a pot and we don't bake it. And I would, if I ever went over to one of my family members' homes, frankly, if my grandmother ever came over for any holiday, and there was Kraft mac and cheese on the stove, and it wasn't baked mac and cheese, my grandmother would probably commit a mass homicide.
Man, you're probably going to disagree with me, man, though. I'm going to have to go this way. Black people cook better than white people, man.
No,
I think they do.
Absolutely not.
Okay, have you
absolutely.
barbecue?
First off, they put sugar in grits. Their barbecue's not that good.
E&L? Come on, man.
No.
E&L is they need to sell that sauce that they have over there.
Here's the difference in black people food and white people food. Black people overcook all their food. Generally speaking. The chicken is all fried hard and dried out, and I've never seen a piece of red meat that wasn't cooked well done.
Man, like I said, I don't know. I disagree. Man, have you been to Lunch Basket in the Delta before?
No.
It's this great place where it's over in Belzona where you have to.
I'm not saying they don't have good food, by the way.
Man,
I want to make sure I'm being clear here. I'm just saying, generally speaking, they prefer their food overcooked.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I love it. I'm just going to be honest. I love it.
Again, I support plenty of those businesses, but they like their food overcooked. All right, trans boxer.
Okay. First of all, to start this conversation off, I'm sure we both agree on this, that a guy shouldn't box against a woman, right? I think that's just a general premise that we agree on that.
Yeah, we're on the same page on this.
Okay.
Now, look, I don't watch the Olympics, for starters. I made that clear on the show a week ago. I can't boycott the Olympics because I have watched the Olympics since Kurt Angle won in '96 with a broke neck.
You're not watching synchronized swimming. I figured that would be into that. Dang. Okay.
It's just not my thing. I don't know. I mean, I hate to be the bad guy here. Now, I will say there's some great memes have come out of this Olympics. Like they got the shooter that Turkey sent.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's all.
Looks like a hitman.
Someone just sent it to me actually.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool photo there. I give props where props are due. But man, the whole Olympic thing, it's gotten really, really woke, and I'm tired of saying that word, but there's not a better word to describe it. And it's been like that for years. It's a big gay orgy over there in the Olympic Village. I'm just not about that life. I'm just kind of over it. A lot of the Olympians, particularly our basketball players that they send over there, are a bunch of American hating thugs, and I'm just not going to support them.
Okay,
I'm not going to. I don't care if America wins or loses a single event over there. Those aren't my athletes.
Well, I mean, that's one position to take,
Yeah,
I mean,
I just don't care.
I mean, I like the Olympics. And I'm not watching all of it, but I'm watching a little bit of it here and there, especially swimming. And I was a competitive swimmer, so I'm really kind of into that. But to each his own.
Simone Biles stole my F around and find out things. Said her nickname's F around and find out.
She's awesome, man. Though I mean, come on. I mean, Simone Biles is a badass.
No,
I mean,
again, they're not, those people don't represent me.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you want the other countries to get more medals than us?
I don't care.
You don't care? You don't let them have it?
Well, we just got they're our countries, too. We just have an open border. They're all allowed to come here at some point anyway.
Okay.
They probably trained here. We probably paid for their training.
I mean, you never know. If we can win, I say do it.
And
whatever it takes to win.
Here's another great example. Why is the Olympics allowing a male to pretend to be a female to fight a female? I thought they just said they weren't going to allow that other chick with a Leah Thomas to swim. Why are they allowing this dude to box?
Okay, well, that's where I was going with that. So, like, where we both agree that a man should not be boxing a woman or playing in any sports for that matter, but especially boxing seems like problematic, wouldn't it?
Something's good's coming when you hear a Democrat say problematic.
Well, here's what I think. I don't know that we know that this person is a male. And here I'm going to give you a few examples. First of all, the first thing is she's from Algeria, where being transgender and gay is illegal. Like, you get killed for it. So it's a predominantly Muslim country that that kind of behavior is illegal, right? So I have a hard time believing that Algeria, not the bastion of inclusivity, would put a transgender person up on their Olympic team. So that's my first issue with it. In 2020, she boxed there. No one said a thing. She's lost to tons of female boxers. The Irish world champion tweeted yesterday out like a video of her beating her ass. I mean, so there's those things. Then she's never identified as transgender ever. Said that she's a transgender person. There seems to be an issue that she might have androgenism. I can't pronounce it. Whatever it is, and that caused a higher testosterone level in her. And so that seems to be that's possibly the issue here. So that's just what I kind of went into a little rabbit hole last night reading all about it.
Yeah, and I kind of saw a little bit of that too because I saw Jake Paul's not necessarily apology, but somewhat of an edit to his original comment. That where somebody had shared that she is a biological woman. Well, she's a biological woman. Where's the fuss coming from?
Yeah, so apparently, okay, so like in 2023, I think it was the IBC, she had failed some sort of test, like had some level of higher testosterone is what I read. Which could be caused because of like a genetic condition or something like that. That's what they're saying.
Or she could be caused by taking testosterone.
Or taking testosterone. That's another thing I was saying, right. So, but it doesn't seem that this person is a male. And there was, and this is a good example of our outrage because I fell victim to it too when I saw it earlier yesterday. I was like, oh my God, they let a dude of all sports. That's the one you do it.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't agree with the swimming one at all, allowing a male to swim against girls, but at least that's not a hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But then I really dug deep into it. So I don't think this person is actually a biological male at all. And there was a lot of outrage over it for nothing. And that's kind of flipping.
It's apparently it's a hermaphrodite.
There's some talk about possibly that's true, like intersex, I guess is what they call that now.
Yeah, it failed a gender test with XY chromosomes.
Yeah, something to that effect. But they did have high testosterone levels too. I did read that for sure.
Well, being a man would cause that too.
Yeah, but she's got female, like she has a vagina apparently, and it's not, like it's not a transgender situation.
Yeah, I got you. Here's my thing with this, and it's like what I'm gonna stay true to form on this. Whether you're born like that, or you're like that by choice, either way, right? So there's some things, unfortunately, life ain't fair, and there's some things you just shouldn't be allowed to compete in. And shouldn't be allowed to do based on certain deformities or decisions or whatever you want to call it. I think boxing against women with a higher testosterone level or being a hermaphrodite or whatever the case may be, you just got to have to sit this one out, dog.
Yeah, and I can see that.
You know what I mean?
There's some genetic advantages that other ones wouldn't have. I think and if it was phrased that way, I think I could agree with that.
And I know some people win the quote unquote genetic lottery, but that's because life ain't fair too.
Right. But they did some other testing for how allowed to be in the Olympics, and again, she was in 2020, and I think she got whipped there too, pretty good. So I don't know. There's a complex issue here that was not put out in the public initially, where this was not like some she's transgender and we're pushing her in, to box. So that wasn't the issue. It just seems like there's something else a little more complicated that everybody doesn't understand yet.
Yeah, I'm curious on the testosterone because I'm a big supporter of testosterone, but also with that said, having unusually high testosterone and like testosterone levels, like if I decided to go fight a pro fight, I would get my butt kicked if I decided to step in any kind of pro fight, regardless of how high my testosterone levels are right now.
Yeah.
So in all
so
in all fairness, there, my testosterone levels aren't going to be the determining factor in me getting my butt kicked or not.
No.
But I'm also not a trained professional athlete, or well, I guess they're not professionals, so to say. They're quote unquote amateurs, but
they
still
train quite a bit though. Yeah.
I mean, it's what they do for a living. I just think that it puts you at an unfair advantage. If everything's equal, and then you have higher testosterone levels, things are no longer equal.
No, yeah, I know, and I totally get that point. And I guess whatever testing they got to do or whatever to figure out exactly what the issue is, that's what they should do. But I think again, this is a good example of our outrage culture. You know what I mean? Immediately something gets put on the internet, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's this is what's going on." And then before the facts come out, and then we got to read about wait a second, maybe this is not what I thought it was.
So here's the deal. Chris just sent this. Boxer was disqualified from 2023 World Boxing Championships for testing positive for XY chromosome. IOC uses a testosterone. Sorry, I'm pulling this up. IOC uses a testosterone test and gender on the passport. So
okay, and the person apparently again was born a woman, so she just happens to have what I read was androgenism or something. I
don't have a clue what that is.
I didn't know it was till last night.
I know what androstenedione and androstenedione is. I get that. I mean, so we'll have to look into it.
And then the Algerian thing also, where I thought was really the kicker for me when I was thinking about the country of Algeria, that there's no way they'd be like, yeah, we're pro-transgender. Let's put this person on the team that represents our country. Like, that would never happen in Algeria.
Well, I would have never thought it would happen in America, but we have no problem doing it here.
Yeah, but you know how many Muslim countries are, man. I mean, they you get killed for that. Like, that's why we've been making a joke about, whatever, was it Queers for Palestine and all those things? I mean, this is the same thing. They would be mortified if a transgender person was representing their country. I mean, they would just be like, oh my, what? I mean, they'd probably kill her on the stage. I mean, just box me. They're like, oh no.
Send in the SHUN sharpshooters,
yeah.
the
So
killer
then,
hornets.
Of course, the guy with the suicide vest. I mean, that's what they would do.
Hey, quick edit, man. I said Parlor 1883 earlier. It's Parlor 1886. I think I was thinking of that. Isn't that Yellowstone 1883?
That's what it is. Yeah.
I had that burned in my brain. Parlor 1886. My apologies. Get by there and check them out tonight in downtown Florida for a good time this weekend. We'll be right back with Shaun YURTKURAN here on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Hey guys, Lakeland Glass and Tint. Get over there next week and see them for all your windshield repair needs, window tinting needs, vehicle wrapping needs, and paint protection film needs, as well as ceramic coating on your vehicle. Get your clear coat and paint protected from all this heat today with a Expel ceramic coating, or again the vehicle wrap. You can get you a quote online today at lakelandglassandtint.com, or just stop by and visit them in person, especially for the ceramic coating at Flowwood Drive. That's going to be your location for ceramic coating, window tint, paint protection film, and ceramic coating. If you need your windshield or automotive glass repaired or replaced, stop by the OG location right there on Lakeland Drive in Flowwood. And every new windshield comes with a free one-time use rock repair card for the life of that windshield or that vehicle, or however you want to look at that. Free one-time rock repair to kind of prevent it from spreading, and so you won't have to buy another windshield. LakelandGlassandTint.com. Sean, Guns and Gear text line has been blowing up today. Let's start there for this last full segment of today's show. Let's see here. Unknown texter talking about Kamala said Kalamazoo, half Jamaican, half Indian, 100% stupid. They also say, what about professional basketball player playing against amateurs? That is interesting, but everybody's allowed to play professionals. So if another country sends their amateurs, that's on them.
Right.
I mean, because a lot of these other countries have professionals that play on those teams. America's just better at basketball. It just is what it is.
I mean, we started that. Remember, of course, our age, we remember 92 was the Dream Team.
Yeah.
And that was the first one. Prior to that, we sent all amateurs, but we got sick of the Soviets, my foil there, the Russians, sending their professional athletes and beating us. So then we're like, okay, guess what? What we're going to do. And then we cleaned everybody's clock in 92. Do you remember watching the Olympics that year?
Oh, yeah.
And watching the Dream Team? I mean, those guys were amazing.
Yep. Let's see here. Unknown texture says, the Italian fighter should have gotten to her feet and fought like a man. Her opponent certainly was. One thing I disagreed with was her falling to the knee and kind of playing it like she did. But again, admittingly, guys, I was on the road yesterday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. But I didn't get home last night till after 8 o'clock. I was gone from my house for sort of 13, 14 hours. And I'm not really able to use my phone while I'm driving, obviously. So I was a little unplugged. I mean, I was kind of seeing bits and pieces when I had a chance to look at my phone, but not all. So, Lloyd says in 2023, the Algerian boxer failed a gender test and had a Y chromosome. In the result, women do not have Y chromosomes. John says he failed gender tests. So that seems to be the recurring theme here. Josh says that true female boxer should have kicked and punched that tranny in the junk. Might have been disqualified, but try your hardest to get your message across. Stand up, not down. I don't disagree with that. I mean, he's obviously being a bull in the china shop there, but I think she should have stood up and fight. She knew she was going in to fight the guy, allegedly, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Quit before you get in the ring if you're going to quit.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that's my point. Just don't even fight. Let's see here. Ty says Sean likes his charcoal with rib tip flavors.
Go to E&L, Ty. I'm telling you, man, you won't regret it.
Paul says Chappelle said it was vegetables and a wine box for food white people eat.
Wine box. That's true. You've never seen a black person with a wine box in the refrigerator. That is totally a white person thing. That's a great example. I didn't even think about that.
You never seen white people with grape juice in their refrigerator. There's that.
The wine box. God bless.
David says, it is ridiculous black people would accept this. That's freaking racist. This has nothing to do with political policy, Sean. Let's see her mock Jewish people. Black people should be in a uproar, and that BS is not black. Her sights were set high when she was and probably still is looking up, saying You like that, Daddy? Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Judge Joe Brown explains in detail that Kamala's father is not black. He's Indian with some Irish. Yeah, there's a lot of let's see, let me read Zach's first. Zach says Kamala's dad is Irish and his dad was Jamaican. His mother's side of the family, all the way back to 1776, were plantation and slave owners in Jamaica raising sugarcane. Kamala's parents divorced when she was 7 in 1972, and she was raised in Canada. Yeah, and there's a lot of that out there. And I mean, as far as I know, all that's true because that's what I've heard for years as well, too. So, like I said, her suddenly tapping into black culture and pretending to be black or whatever you want to call it, it's just insulting. And it's insulting that people believe it. And the same people believe that believe Chokwe Lumumba, name is really Chokwe Lumumba, and he's a good mayor. And it's just like, come on,
Does
guys.
Anybody believe he's a good mayor? Is there anybody that believes that?
Well, 13,000 people that voted for him, I guess. You know,
I mean, that was like what now 3 years ago. So I'm just wondering. I mean, that's what we should do. Like, go out there in the community and like take a microphone and be like, all right, let's just find somebody that thinks he's a good mayor because it's almost hard to believe.
There's plenty of people that do. Have you seen those videos of that guy that goes out on the streets and interviews these people outside of Jackson clubs and asks them, "How smart are you?"
Yeah. Yes. The one you showed me. Yeah, I've seen those Instagram ones, right?
Yeah. I mean, so look, trust me, there's a bunch of idiots out there that think he's a good mayor. I mean, go look at the comments under some of the live videos of his press conferences and news conferences and stuff. There's plenty of people that thinks he's fighting for them.
Well, I will say I just checked this out. According to Wikipedia, Kamala Harris's father is named Donald Jasper Harris. He was born in
strong black name.
Brown in Brownstown, Jamaica, the son of Oscar Joseph Harris and Beryl Christie Harris, who were African-American Jamaicans. That's what Wikipedia says.
What is an African-American Jamaican?
Or Afro-Jamaican is the way they worded here. Well, because, Jamaicans were brought in by the Spanish initially had Jamaica, and then the English did, and they all brought in tons of slaves to the island. That's why you think about like Haiti, it was French, and Dominican Republic, all those, that's why there's black people on the islands, because they were brought in as slaves. Kind of just like here.
Google real quick, Kamala Harris live in Canada. Let's find out, how long does she live in Canada?
Okay, let's see. Canada. Has Kamala from ages 12 to 18.
All right, so she's a Canuck.
Well, I guess, yeah, just like junior high and high school, or middle school, whatever people call it now.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we really need to be having this conversation with a black Democrat in the studio, because I really want to pin them up on this and ask how she's suddenly become the voice of the voiceless here. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a break. Come back, land the plane for the day. This has been the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN. We got one more segment to go, and that's it for the week. Welcome back in. Hey, guys, real quick, Guns and Gear, Facebook, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg has deleted the Guns and Gear Facebook account again. Oh, man. Get over there, see them today. They don't need a Facebook. They got the Clay Edwards Show, the power of WYAB behind them, the power of the WYAB FAFO Army. Y'all get over there, support them this weekend, Highway 51 North in Gluckstadt. Don't forget, I will be at McBee's today, 11 a.m. It's not an official FAFO Friday lunch, but, hey, they invited us out. Let's go out. Let's support them. They're dropping their new menu today. And you know where McBee's is. I'll be there 11:30, something like that, as soon as I can get there. Let's get out there, enjoy a good lunch, get out, support all these great sponsors this weekend. And we'll be announcing a few new ones next week. The show is rolling on. Shaun, appreciate you, brother. A couple of good shows this week, a couple of our best shows, I think. I know my dad texted me or came by the house the other night and said, Wednesday show's one of the best ones y'all ever done.
It was fun. Oh, also, Lindsay Beckham wanted me to say that she's going live on her podcast that starts at 9, right when we're done here, to talk about this trans boxers issues.
All right, y'all.
Have guests about that. So.
Go to Facebook, type in Lindsay Beckham, and that will pop up. And coming up next, we got Chris Davis with his Arts and Blues Hour. He's got a live guest. Not sure who it is. Podcast will be available here shortly. Just search Clay Edwards Show. I will see y'all Monday. Peace.